On the day of our move, my phone started ringing loudly. It was a call from my mother-in-law, Mary. She ranted on and on until she finally said this.
You need to choose, live with me or divorce him. Either way, I'm taking back Joshua, so make your choice.
Living with her would mean endless harassment, that's obvious. Who would willingly step into such hell? I scratched my head and quickly replied, I'm busy, so let's discuss this later. I'm at a law office with Dad discussing some infidelity issues. No matter how much she ranted or tried to explain herself, our stance remained unchanged. We had irrefutable evidence in our hands, and now her composure was starting to crack. I wondered how long she could keep up that defiant attitude. My name is Emma, a 25-year-old office worker. Last year, I married my college friend Joshua, and we decided to live near his family. His family runs a flower shop. His father, Michael, handles accounting and procurement, and it seems his mother, Mary, manages the store. When I met his parents, they gave me a beautiful bouquet. His father, Michael, truly seems to love flowers and sends them for every special occasion. This tradition touched me deeply. His mother, Mary, was also a beautiful and elegant woman. I thought I could get along well with these in-laws. After getting married, I noticed that Mary fit the image of a beautiful mother perfectly. Joshua told me she's around 50 but looks at least 10 years younger. She prides herself on this, often wearing short skirts and fitted sweaters. She never goes without full makeup, and she enjoys being told she looks younger than her age. One night as I was getting ready for bed, the doorbell rang. Late-night visitors always make me nervous. Unfortunately, Joshua was in the bath. The bell rang repeatedly while I hesitated. Summoning my courage, I opened the door. Standing there was my mother-in-law, Mary.
Oh, you look plain.
I was taken aback by her first comment and asked what she meant.
You walk around like this in front of Joshua? Your pajamas are all worn out, and those glasses are so outdated. Why don't you get yourself a new pair already?
Her rapid-fire criticisms flowed as I was about to head to bed. I managed to ask her why she was here. I'm sorry, but since it's late, what brings you here?
Oh, right. What did you have for dinner tonight? Give me some. I can even take it to go.
Her request caught me off guard. I didn't make extra portions and we had already finished dinner.
You know, Michael had a neighborhood meeting and ate out. It's a waste to cook for just one person, so I came here.
Her expectations seemed entitled, and I couldn't understand why she'd visit so late. I thought it was strange, even though she's Joshua's mother. But sending her away would be rude. She let herself into the living room. Dirty dishes from dinner were still on the table as I had yet to clean up.
Oh, how messy. A home that leaves dishes out isn't fit for a proper housewife.
I immediately replied, I'll clean it up right away, but dinner's over and there's nothing left to offer.
Really? Surely you have something in storage. Just let me eat that.
Reluctantly, I made her a bowl of frozen udon noodles. I defrosted the noodles, prepared a simple broth, and added some vegetables and an egg. She looked disappointed when she saw it.
Is this really supposed to satisfy me? Poor Joshua must not get good meals at home.
After complaining about the noodle, she turned her criticism back to my appearance.
Have you looked in the mirror? It's the worst environment to have someone like you walking around. Have you given up on being a woman? How often do you go to the spa?
Spa? I don't go to places like that.
Seriously? You should go every week. Hair salons, massages. There are so many things you should do.
She slurped her noodle messily while going on about appearances. It seems she focuses so much on looks that manners come second.
At this rate, you'll become an old hag before me. If you keep looking like this, Joshua will be embarrassed by you. Aren't you worried about turning into ghostly face?
I replied, well, I'm quite busy with work, so I don't really have time.
No one's going to praise you for just working. Don't you even realize that much?
At that moment, I heard a noise behind me.
Oh, Joshua, I'm just visiting.
Joshua looked surprised as he exited the bathroom. Mom, why are you here?
I don't need a reason to visit my son's home. Your father's out tonight, so I thought I'd check in.
Her smile softened Joshua's expression. Of course, you're always welcome. What are you eating?
This is all she served me. Hurry up and get me something better.
Even though Joshua told me to, I felt uneasy, but it was bedtime and I had work tomorrow.
Fine, I get it. No need to eat this tasteless meal. I went out of my way to come, and this is the welcome I get. Next time, make sure you have something decent prepared.
With that, she took her belongings and stormed out. After she left, Joshua looked at me with disapproval. I didn't know you couldn't respect family. Was it all a lie?
When you pretended to be nice?
His harsh words left me stunned, and he turned his back on me. He walked into the bedroom without another word. That night I slept alone in another room. I knew there were parents who maintained close relationships with their children, but I didn't expect it to come at the expense of boundaries. I wasn't about to complain about family dynamics, but something felt very wrong. That night, I fell asleep with a heavy heart. Perhaps this and other small issues influenced our decision. The topic of moving came up between us. Joshua works from home and I commute daily to a nearby city, so we decided it would be convenient to move closer to my workplace. It was fun to look at various properties together. Though we'd been married for only a year, we'd known each other since college and knew each other's preferences well. Joshua was also familiar with the area and helped us decide on a place quickly. The place we chose is quite spacious for 2 people. It's an old apartment, but because of that, it's large and affordable. Joshua said we should think of it as planning for the future. His thoughtfulness moved me. As the moving day approached, we invited his parents to share the news.
We decided to move to a neighboring city.
Why are you unhappy here?
We thought it would be more convenient for Emma to live near her office. Also, if we have kids in the future, this place is too cramped. Makes sense. That sounds like a good plan. You'll still be close enough for visits any time.
I disagree. Emma, you've only been out of college for 3 years. You should live close to family when you're young. We can help you out.
She seemed to think that no matter how old he got, Joshua was still too young to manage on his own.
Don't worry, Mom. We'll still be close. You're welcome to visit any time. So, you'll still be stopping by for late-night meals? Wait, Mary, are you still doing that?
His father seemed shocked.
I'm amazed you just barge into their home like that. Even if you're family, there's a limit to what's appropriate. They have their own lives. Respecting some distance will help.
When Michael scolded her, Mary fell silent. With no other option, she agreed to the move, and we breathed a sigh of relief. However, deep down, she seemed convinced that if my marriage to Joshua failed, he would return to her. As a result, her already strong personality became even more antagonistic. Behind the scenes and out of sight of Michael and Joshua, she began to harass me. With the move coming up, I received an invitation to a friend's wedding. She always wanted a perfect wedding, and now her dream was coming true. Thankfully, the weather was clear and I decided to bring a bouquet as a gift. I'd always been interested in my in-laws' flower shop, so I decided to get the flowers from there. When I arrived, my father-in-law was out and Mary was there alone. My friend is getting married and I'd like to make her a bouquet.
Oh, congratulations. When's the wedding?
This afternoon.
Are you kidding? You're just wearing everyday clothes. If you show up looking like that, you'll embarrass the bride too.
Her comments about my appearance got under my skin, but I was wearing a dress I'd never worn before and had done my makeup carefully. I even wore contacts instead of glasses. But calling it casual wear after all my effort felt like a slap in the face.
Oh, sorry, I see you did put in some effort, but you look so plain. With a face like that, no wonder you can't stand out.
At last, I realized she was just insulting me. Since she took such pride in her appearance, my best attempt probably seemed underwhelming to her. Ignoring her remarks, I started discussing the bouquet. Amid the colorful flowers in the store, one type caught my eye. Wow, this flower is lovely. It's like a rose with such elegance.
Do you even know what kind of flower that is?
No, but I really like it.
It's a lisianthus. You really don't know anything. Kids these days are so ignorant.
I answered absent-mindedly. Is that so?
I can't believe you're married to Joshua with that lack of knowledge. Lisianthus isn't suitable for weddings. The word reminds people of loss. Choosing it would be an insult to the bride.
Her lecture continued, and I almost ended up late for the wedding. When a male employee returned from a delivery, Mary suddenly remembered her duties. Eventually, she made a beautiful seasonal bouquet that looked stunning. I realized that she was quite skilled at her job. The wedding itself was a casual party-style celebration where I could easily chat with the bride. I even had a chance to give her the bouquet personally. But when I handed it over, my friend sitting nearby gasped. She whispered in my ear that the flower in my bouquet symbolized infidelity. Apparently, it's known for its changing color, making it unsuitable for weddings. She suggested giving the bouquet together, saving us from embarrassing the bride. I was grateful to my friend for catching that mistake. Her help allowed me to get through the wedding without incident. However, a question lingered in my mind. Did Mary really not know the meaning of the flower she'd chosen? In the back of the store, there were dictionaries for flower meanings. I hated to think it, but could she have chosen that flower on purpose? to embarrass me? This incident made me realize that I needed to be cautious around Mary. There was another incident when Joshua and I went on a short trip together.
Let's buy some of these cream-filled pastries for Mom. She loves these.
We decided to bring a box of cream-filled pastries to his parents' house as a souvenir. Since Joshua had work and couldn't go himself, I went alone to deliver the box to Mary. When I handed her the box, she looked at it with a grimace.
Cream-filled pastries? If I eat something like that, I'll get fat. I don't want to end up like you.
I realized that picking out a gift for family was harder than I thought. I'm sorry. Did it not suit your taste? It's supposed to be a local specialty.
Thoughtless as usual. Just because it's a specialty doesn't mean it's good. Are you trying to drag me down to your level?
That wasn't my intention at all. She took the box, but from her tone, I was sure she'd throw it away. Just then I heard the sound of a car pulling up. Michael returned home from an outing, and seeing the pastries, he smiled.
Oh, that's great. You love these, don't you, Mary?
Oh, yes, that's right. Emma is such a thoughtful daughter-in-law.
I was shocked by how quickly she changed her attitude in front of him. Her target was clearly only me. She didn't want Michael or Joshua to know how she treated me. When I tried to say something, she shot me a sharp glare. After he went inside, she snatched my glasses off my face.
These glasses are pointless. You're young. It's ridiculous. You'd better get out of our family's lives as soon as possible.
She threw my glasses on the ground and stomped on them. Stop it, please. I need those to see. You know that.
Not my problem. You should have been more careful. They're ruined now. Guess you'll have to get a new pair.
With my vision so poor, replacing them would be an expensive ordeal. Those were costly. What are you going to do about it? Up until now, I'd held back, but I couldn't stay silent after she'd broken something of mine. But she brushed it off.
Oh well, if you don't like it, just leave our family. I don't tolerate any woman trying to take Joshua from me.
With that, she slammed the door shut. I was left standing there, unable to see clearly. I stumbled as I took a few steps, nearly falling. At that moment, I heard the door open again behind me.
Emma, what's wrong?
Oh, Michael, I think I left my glasses behind.
You're struggling like this. Where are your usual glasses?
He noticed the shattered glasses on the ground. I explained everything to him then and there, feeling it was my only chance. In the end, he drove me home. It was pure luck he'd come out of the house when he did. Back home, I put on a spare pair of glasses and felt an immense relief. With renewed courage, I began preparing for the move. On moving day, my phone rang loudly at a critical moment. It was a call from Mary. I answered the call, excusing myself from everyone around me.
You're really moving? This is outrageous. And you even dragged Michael into this. He has bad legs. What if he gets hurt? I told you not to move, didn't I?
But you're the only one objecting. Joshua and Michael are both fully on board. There was another reason Michael was with me today, but Mary couldn't have known that.
They don't understand. Joshua needs me. If he separates from me, he'll fall apart.
The only one at risk of falling apart seemed to be her.
And I hear you moving to a larger place, supposedly for future kids. Who said you could have children? Who gave you permission to decide something like that? You're too young to raise children.
Her words stung. I may be young, but that's no reason to treat me like a child. Why would I need permission to have kids? We're adults now and capable of making our own decisions. We don't want anyone interfering in major life decisions like this.
How dare you talk back? Next time I'll destroy everything you hold dear, not just your glasses.
Her menacing laugh echoed through the phone.
You're trying to steal Joshua from me. You can either live with me or get a divorce. One way or another, I'll get Joshua back.
And you living with her would mean endless harassment. I scratched my head and replied quickly. I'm busy, so let's talk later. I'm at a law office with Michael, discussing some legal matters. Her usual loud voice suddenly went silent.
Aren't you moving today?
The moving was completed this morning. Joshua's at home organizing, and Michael and I are here handling another important matter. The moving date was planned not only for our convenience, but also to accommodate Michael's meeting with a lawyer. When he'd driven me home after the glasses incident, I'd confided in him about Mary's behavior. He already had concerns, so he scheduled this consultation.
Where exactly are you right now?
I guess you didn't hear me. We're discussing infidelity. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Of course not. How dare you? You have no business being here. Come back now.
Michael took my phone and addressed her directly.
Mary, I heard everything. How could you speak to Emma like that?
What?
I'm coming back. but I'm taking Joshua and Emma with me. Wait for us at the house.
Ignoring her protests, Michael ended the call. We discussed everything and then went to her flower shop together. The shop was next to their home, so it was easy to slip in without her noticing. Michael had closed the shop for the day. We entered from the back and waited quietly. The darkened shop had a strange atmosphere, making the flowers look artificial.
Mary, do you realize why we're here?
Mary feigned ignorance, opening her eyes wide.
What are you talking about? Why bring me here on our day off?
Then, why have you been leaving the shop unattended to go out recently?
Obviously for beauty treatments. A woman needs her maintenance, you know.
And that includes meeting men too?
Michael pulled out a photo from a large envelope. It showed her walking arm in arm with a young man in town. She gasped and went silent.
I hired an investigator and confirmed the facts.
Joshua looked at the photo, anxiety evident in his expression.
Who's that man, Dad? It's Nathan, our part-time helper. He's still a college student. Wait, you're seeing someone younger than me?
Hearing his age, Joshua looked like he lost his footing, and Mary started to panic.
It's not like that. I was just giving him a ride home. It was on the way.
Really? You escorted him home every week?
Michael spread several more photos across the table like a magician, with a deck of cards. It looked like there were endless pictures in that envelope.
With this frequency, it's hard to believe it's innocent.
Mary's face turned as pale as a sheet, repeating that it was a misunderstanding. I saw a photo of Nathan, and he looked like he could be an idol with his handsome features. Michael explained that many women visited the store just to see him. The thought that he'd been involved with someone old enough to be his mother was shocking.
And Mary, I noticed that you suddenly wanted to help with the accounting this year, though you've always hated bookkeeping.
He pointed out that her bookkeeping was full of errors. Eventually, he realized she was misappropriating funds for her beauty expenses.
You even bought him clothes and accessories. There's no doubt about your spending habits.
With evidence in hand, Michael's patience ran out. Confronted with all the proof, she tried to protest one last time.
You think I can just look the other way when I feel so strongly about him? If only we were the same age, we could have been married. Instead, I had to settle for this secret love affair.
Her tone became more desperate. I found myself commenting involuntarily. So you romanticized this whole affair?
How dare you? You wouldn't understand.
Her defensiveness was only making things worse. But just then, the door opened. A young man entered, Nathan. Noticing the photos, he seemed taken aback.
Nathan, please tell us the truth. Were you involved with my wife?
Nathan sighed and nodded.
I'm sorry, I did have an affair with her.
Mary dropped to her knees.
Nathan, please don't say that.
Nathan turned away with a look of disgust.
Sorry, but I never took it seriously.
His words stunned everyone in the room.
That's how it was. I just needed to hit my score count. I was competing with a friend to see how many older women I could charm. I'm sorry, but it's over. So Mary, this is the truth. Nathan was only using you.
No, Nathan, you don't mean that.
Mary reached out, grabbing Nathan's hands, clearly distressed.
Look, you're just not my type. It was all just a game. Besides, I don't do clingy. I was just competing with my friend.
Nathan spoke coldly, his words devoid of emotion.
And Mary, you know we had to catch you in the act to get the truth.
Michael took out one final piece of evidence from the envelope.
You've been using store funds to pay for this little fling. That's grounds for divorce.
Mary's face went pale as she realized there was no way out.
Divorce? But I did everything for our family.
For the family, or for your own desires? You've been lying to me, to your son, and to everyone.
He looked down at her, and there was a finality in his voice. He handed her a divorce paper.
We're done. Leave the house, the store, and my life. And don't think there won't be consequences.
Mary stared at the divorce papers, her face showing a mix of disbelief and regret.
Michael, please, don't do this.
Her pleas were met with silence. Just then Joshua, who had been silently watching, looked up with a dazed expression.
Mom, how could you? You were the one I looked up to. I never thought you'd betray Dad like this.
Mary's expression turned desperate as she looked at her son.
Joshua, it's just a misunderstanding. You have to believe me.
I spoke up, finally tired of all the lies. Joshua, your mother's been harassing me since the day we got married. She broke my glasses, visited us unannounced, and interfered in our lives. She even tried to sabotage my friend's wedding by giving me inappropriate flowers. And that's not all. I've been dealing with her constant meddling while staying quiet for your sake. Joshua looked back at his mother with a mixture of confusion and disappointment.
Mom, is that true?
They're lying, Joshua. They're all out to get me.
She sounded desperate, but the conviction was gone from her voice. At that moment, Nathan shrugged and took a step toward the door.
I'm out. I've had enough of this drama. Wait, Nathan. I expect you to take responsibility. There's no way you're walking away from this without consequences.
Nathan nodded with a look of resignation. He knew there would be repercussions, but Mary reached out to try to shield him.
Michael, please, spare him. He's just a young man.
Enough, Mary. He'll face the consequences of his actions.
Michael then turned to me with a sad but resolute expression.
Emma, I'm so sorry you had to endure all of this. You deserve a peaceful life.
I nodded gratefully. With that, we all left the shop, leaving Mary alone with her regrets. A month later, the divorce was finalized. Both Mary and Joshua paid the required compensations. Joshua and I parted ways, and I moved into my new apartment alone. One afternoon, as I was settling into my peaceful new life, I received a call from Michael.
Emma, thank you. The divorce went through, and I feel at peace.
I thanked him for everything.
And I've hired a reliable manager for the shop. Things are running smoothly, and I'm finally able to focus on the things that matter.
That's wonderful news.
And Emma, I sent you something as a housewarming gift.
Just then, my doorbell rang. It was a delivery with a beautiful bouquet from Michael. I was touched by his thoughtfulness. The flowers filled my new home with a fresh, peaceful fragrance. As I admired the bouquet, I thought to myself, one day I want to be the kind of person who brings light to others' lives. With my new life beginning, I felt free from the weight of past troubles. I realized that everything that happened had brought me to this place of peace and self-respect. I kept Michael's flowers in a vase in the living room as a reminder to stay grounded. The fresh blossoms filled my space with positivity, and I began to look forward to each day in my new home. I also started to spend more time focusing on my career, building friendships, and enjoying the independence I had earned. I found myself reflecting on what I truly wanted in life, away from the chaos I had endured. Each morning, I walked past the bouquet Michael has sent, feeling grateful for his support and kindness. As the weeks passed, I adjusted to my new routine and started setting new goals for myself. One day, I received a letter from Michael.
Emma, I hope you are finding peace in your new life. You were a tremendous support during a difficult time for me, and I want you to know that you're always family to me. I've been making changes to the shop, and the new team has brought fresh energy. And in case you're wondering, I'm doing well too.
I smiled reading his words, feeling reassured that he was happy and moving forward. His note reminded me of the strength we both found through everything that happened. Reflecting on the past, I felt proud of how far I've come. I felt thankful for the lessons I learned and for the chance to build a brighter future on my own terms. Michael's words encouraged me to continue living with purpose and compassion, just as he had shown me. And as I looked around my new home, I felt a sense of accomplishment and hope. With each step forward, I carried a renewed sense of peace, knowing I could create a fulfilling life. I had become my own person, free from the negativity of the past and ready to embrace new beginnings.